If you do not read much, the problem is rarely intelligence. It is friction. Long chapters with slow payoff can feel like homework. You stop trusting that the next page will reward you. This guide is built for people who want a book to do the heavy lifting. The pages should be clear. The chapters should end cleanly. The language should not demand warm-up time. Think of reading as a loop. You notice a question. You get an answer soon. You feel a small win. Then you continue. When that loop breaks, most casual readers drift away. The 6 picks here use different kinds of momentum. High-stakes survival. Puzzle-forward chase energy. A curious voice that makes ordinary life interesting. Competence problem-solving where each obstacle has a concrete solution. A classic mystery that tightens like a knot. A true-life memoir told with comedian timing. Use this as a menu. Choose one lane. Try the first 50 pages with zero pressure. If it clicks, continue. If it does not, switch lanes. That is not quitting. That is matching. A small fact that helps. Many strong readers also switch books early. They just do it faster and without shame. In the sections that follow, I will reference The Hunger Games, The Da Vinci Code, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, Project Hail Mary, And Then There Were None, and Born a Crime. If you want the simplest start, pick the one that sounds closest to what you already watch or listen to for fun. A practical metric. If you can explain the current goal in one sentence after a week away, the book is low friction. These picks all pass that test. The Hunger Games, Suzanne Collins. A fast YA dystopian thriller with short chapters and clear stakes, set in a harsh televised competition world that keeps attention on every page. This is a common gateway book because it reads like a series of clean, vivid scenes. You never need to memorize lore, and you always know what the current problem is. The prose is straightforward. The dialogue is easy to track. That matters when you are rebuilding stamina. A useful way to read this is in small sprints. 2 chapters can be enough for a session, because each chapter is designed to feel complete. If you struggle with big paragraphs, the pacing here helps. Chapters tend to end with a natural reason to continue, so you do not have to force yourself. If you finish this and want more, you can continue in the same trilogy. If you do not want commitment, treat the first book as a single test and stop there. Another small tip: read the first 20 pages quickly. Do not stop to reread. The momentum is part of the experience. If you want the full low-friction ladder, plus a calm rule for choosing your second book based on attention style, watch the full long video on the channel. Interesting context. This series is often used to pull reluctant teen readers into regular reading because the momentum is so consistent and the language stays accessible. The Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown. A modern puzzle thriller with rapid scene changes and chase structure, moving through famous real-world places while questions stack quickly and clearly. This works for non-readers because the paragraphs stay practical and the chapters are engineered for momentum. You get a steady pattern of clue, decision, and consequence without needing literary patience. The writing prioritizes clarity over beauty. That is a feature when you are trying to finish a book, not study it. If you like podcasts about secrets, codes, and hidden history, this often clicks because it feels like you are following a trail. It is also easy to pause and resume. The book frequently reminds you what the current question is, so you do not feel lost after a day away. One honest caveat: it is designed to be fast more than subtle. If you want character depth first, choose a different lane from this list. If you enjoy it, you can explore more in the same author's thriller style, but you do not need any serious commitment to start. For a full beginner map that matches books to your attention span and reading time, the long video explains the decision rule and a simple 2-week plan. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, Mark Haddon. A short, quirky, very readable novel with an unusually direct voice, set in an everyday neighborhood where precise observations create strong curiosity and momentum. Many people who say they dislike fiction actually dislike vague writing. This book is the opposite. It is structured, concrete, and easy to follow. The pages are friendly. You will see simple diagrams and lists, which makes the reading feel lighter and faster. The sentences are clean. The humor is dry. The tone stays grounded, which helps if fantasy or heavy symbolism turns you off. Another reason it works as a restart book is that it rewards attention without punishing you. You can read quickly and still understand everything. If you want a book that feels different from the typical novel, this is a safe bet. It is often used in schools for a reason. It teaches confidence. When you finish, notice what you liked. Was it the short length, the unusual voice, or the clear structure? The long video shows how to use that preference to pick your next book without guessing. Project Hail Mary, Andy Weir. a near-future science-driven adventure with a friendly problem-solving tone, set mostly in an isolated high-stakes mission where each chapter tackles one clear obstacle. This is a strong pick if you like competent stories. The pleasure is watching a smart person work through practical problems step by step. You do not need a science background. When technical ideas appear, they are explained in plain language and then used immediately. That keeps the reading grounded. The chapters often function like mini puzzles. That structure is helpful for low-stamina readers because you get frequent stopping points. If you normally scroll your phone because you want quick payoff, this book is built around payoff loops. You see an obstacle. You see an attempt. You see a result. A useful habit. Mark the start of each new obstacle with a sticky note or a highlight. It makes your progress visible, which is motivating without hype. If you want more books like this but shorter, or if you want a fiction and nonfiction mix that reads the same way, the long video gives the complete decision ladder. And Then There Were None. Agatha Christie. A classic mystery with extremely clear writing and a tight closed setting, built around suspicion and quick chapters that constantly refresh what you think you know. Do not let the word classic scare you. This is one of the most readable entry points into older fiction because the prose is clean and direct. The book is a masterclass in forward motion. Almost every scene changes the situation, so you feel progress even when you read 10 pages. The cast is introduced clearly and the setting is simple to picture. That reduces mental load. You can focus on the puzzle. It is also a good pick if you want a complete story in one book. No sequels, no world-building homework. If you like trying to solve a mystery, keep a short list of your current theories. It turns reading into a light game and makes you want one more chapter. For the full list of low-friction books and a simple way to pick based on your mood and reading time, the long video lays it out with a clear Start Here choice. Many modern thrillers borrow these techniques. If you finish this, you will recognize the pattern everywhere, and that recognition makes reading feel easier. Born a Crime, Trevor Noah, a memoir that reads like a set of short, funny, and honest episodes, set in South Africa during and after apartheid with stories that land quickly and clearly. Non-readers often do better with true stories because the stakes feel real and the chapters can stand alone. This book is perfect for that structure. The voice is conversational without being sloppy, and the humor keeps the pace light. You can read a chapter like you would watch a short video, finish it, and feel done. It also contains real context about language, family, and social rules, but it never turns into a lecture. You learn while the story moves. This is a strong pick if you want something meaningful but not heavy to read. It is also a good bridge into other memoirs and narrative nonfiction. If you want a simple restart plan, pair this with a daily routine, one chapter at breakfast or one chapter before bed. The short structure makes the habit easy. For the full beginner plan, including which of these 6 books fits your attention style, the long video is the simplest next step. Here is the fastest way to choose when you do not trust your own reading habits yet. Pick the kind of momentum you already enjoy in other media. If you binge competition reality or survival stories, start with The Hunger Games. If you like puzzle documentaries and conspiracy-style content, start with the Da Vinci Code. If you like unusual narrators and smaller-scale curiosity, start with The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. If you love watching smart problem-solving, start with Project Hail Mary. If you want a clean mystery that pulls you forward, start with And Then There Were None. If you want something true and funny with short chapters, start with Born a Crime. The most common mistake is picking a book that sounds impressive instead of a book that is frictionless. Impressive books can come later. First, you rebuild trust in reading. Another helpful trick is to choose the book with the simplest mental picture. Clear setting plus clear goal usually beats complicated worlds for a restart. If you want my full decision tree and a 2-week restart plan built around these exact picks, watch the long video on the channel. A simple plan beats motivation. Use a 2-week experiment with one book from this list. Days 1 to 3, read or listen for 10 minutes only. Stop even if you want to continue. This trains consistency rather than endurance. Days 4 to 7, move to 15 minutes. Keep the same time of day if possible, because routine removes negotiation. Week 2, add one longer session, like a 30-minute block on the weekend, then return to 15 minutes on weekdays. If you miss a day, do not make it up, just continue. Missing once is normal. Missing twice is where habits die. This approach pairs well with chapter-friendly books like The Hunger Games, The Da Vinci Code, and Born a Crime, because each session ends with a clean stopping point. If you chose Project Hail Mary, use each obstacle as your stopping marker. If you chose And Then There Were None, stop at the end of a chapter and write one sentence about your current theory. The long video expands this into a repeatable system you can use for any book you try next. If you want a gentle second book after this experiment, the long video explains which of the remaining 5 picks is the smoothest transition. Format is not cheating. It is an access tool. If print books feel slow, try audio first, then switch back to print later. For fast thriller pacing, the Da Vinci Code often works well in audio because the scenes are short and easy to follow while moving. For emotional and funny storytelling, Born a Crime is especially strong in audio because comedic timing carries. For a mystery like And Then There Were None, print can help if you like to pause and think. Audio can still work if you listen in focused blocks and avoid multitasking. For The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, print is nice because of the visual elements, but audio still keeps the voice clear and direct. The goal is not to prove you can read the hard way. The goal is to finish a good book and want another one. If you want the full list in one place, plus a clear recommendation for your next step after you finish your first book, watch the long video on the channel. If your attention drifts, increase playback speed slightly and keep sessions short. The point is steady exposure, not forcing deep focus. If you do not read much, your next best book is the one that removes the most friction. Choose one from this list based on the kind of momentum you already enjoy. Survival stakes, puzzle chasing, curious voice, competence problem solving, tight mystery, true life humor. Start small. 10 minutes is enough. Finish one book and let confidence stack. When you finish, do not jump to something harder. Choose something equally easy, then slowly widen your range. That is how real readers are built. If you want an even simpler version of this guide, with a clear start here pick, a backup pick, and a short ladder for what to read next, the full long video on the channel gives the complete map. If a book does not hook you by page 50, it is usually the wrong match right now. Switch without guilt and keep your streak alive. That is the whole strategy. Keep the bar low and the enjoyment high, and the habit will grow on its own. Once you finish one of these, you have proof that reading can fit your life. Use that proof. Pick the next book before you even close the last page.